I don't mean to pick on the Order of the Eastern Star, I really don't. But I have an idea that I think that can help with recruitment and retention. So let's knock 3 times and let's get this started. Hey guys, it's Z, back with another episode of Observant Freemasonry, and today I want to talk to you about an idea that I have that can help with recruitment and retention for the Order of the Eastern Star. Now, if you don't know what the Order of the Eastern Star is, it's a fraternal organization which belongs to the Masonic family. It uses 5 heroines of the Bible and teaches you their stories and then talks about the virtues that correspond with those heroines. I'm talking to you about this today because I was at a meeting recently, and after we were done the meeting and done refreshment and cleaning up and, kind of making our way to the car, I, like normal, got caught up in a side conversation because I like to talk. And during that time period, we were talking about how we can bring in new members and keep them once we have them in. And I offered this suggestion. And the people I was talking to didn't seem appalled by it. In fact, they seemed slightly intrigued. So I thought I'd offer it to you guys and see what you think. Now, one of the reasons that we were talking about this is because we need to attract younger members. And in order to attract younger members, we need to believe that we have something that we can offer them. And I believe that we do. However, I think it might be missing the mark right now. I think that we need to modernize a little bit the Order of the Eastern Star. Now, before you jump and start yelling at me about talking about modernization, please understand that I'm talking about modernizing, not losing the sense of tradition. Freemasonry and the Order of the Eastern Star is kind of totally based around tradition, and I think that's a wonderful thing. Because you know what? I'm also a former Marine. Another big organization that believes in tradition. One of the reasons why tradition is so great is because it links us to the great people of the past. I want to belong to an organization and go through what George Washington went through. I want to belong to an organization and go through what Clara Barton went through when she became a member of the Order of the Eastern Star. So the question is, how do we do this? We need to be able to offer more than coming to a meeting, paying the bills, and going home. We have to offer more than that. We can pay our bills at home and not have to worry about getting dressed up and getting a babysitter and paying dues. So I have taken it upon myself to offer presentations during the chapter meeting whenever I get the chance. In doing so, I was doing some research, and I quickly came to notice that any of the research that I was doing, whenever I went to look for a star point, it was always listed by the star point and by the role that star point was at that point in her life. For an example, if you take a look for Queen Esther, normally when you're taking a look for material from the Eastern Star, it says Queen Esther, the wife, or Martha, the sister, or Ruth, the widow. And I think that is absolutely where we can modernize the Order of the Eastern Star. Think about when the star was created first, though, in 1850 by Dr. Morris. There is very little doubt that women during that time period and in that society probably subscribed to those roles in their life, probably gave them a sense of identity. They were expected to be a daughter, a wife, then a mother, then probably a widow. Maybe she was a sister because during that time period, families were huge. You needed the extra help on the farm and everything along those lines. Plus, there wasn't electricity, so you had to stay warm somehow. So chances are you had a brother or sister. But do we, in present day, really see ourselves that way now? I would argue that most of us don't. While many, I believe, are happy filling those roles, it's not defining as it once was, because times have changed. We see now that more and more women are waiting later into their 20s to get married, into their late 20s to get married, as opposed to being married at a younger age. Women, on average, 30, I actually did the research to see what the actual average year was, are waiting to have their first child. This means that if a woman, 21 years of age, joins the Order of the Eastern Star, she could probably identify with the role of daughter immediately. She might be able to identify as a sister, perhaps, but she won't be able to empathize with the role of the wife for 8 years, or the mother for 10 years, or the role of the widow for what we hope to be many, many years. This all assumes, of course, that she wants to identify as those roles in the first place. What if she doesn't want or can't have children? How could she ever identify or be empathetic to the story of the mother? What if she doesn't want to be married? If she doesn't marry, she can't identify as the wife or the widow. Maybe we should really think if we want to identify those points with the roles of those heroines. Instead, how about we label those points as the virtues that they represent? Maybe we should refer to the heroines as Ruth the devoted, or Esther the courageous, or Martha the faithful, or Lecta the fortitudinous. And I did have to look up on Google how to pronounce that, by the way. I'm pretty surprised I actually got it right the first time. Think about it. Even the heroines selected by Dr. Morse didn't fit or don't fit all of those roles for Eastern Star in the first place. After all, we know that Martha never got married. Neither did Ada, as far as we know. They didn't have any kids that we know of. They couldn't be widows. These virtues, the random ones which I selected, because I went back and tried to figure out what virtues I felt really worked well: resolute, devoted, courageous, faithful, and fortitudinous 2 times, are shared by everyone without regard to that role in their life. They are more encompassing of the spirit of us all. That, I think, will help modernize the Order of the Eastern Star, when we emphasize the virtues of those heroines and not their role. So until next time, stay fervent.